Have you looked up at the sky and noticed that? Let's put a picture up right now. Have you seen these lines? Sometimes they look like perfect boxes. Sometimes they look like an X. Now, the two questions I always hear about this, the people who are pushing back, is they don't have the power to affect the weather. Only God can. And two, why would they do this?
There are many answers. There are many answers.
I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time.
Welcome to the Noir Poise podcast, where wisdom is power is more than just a motto.
It's our way of life. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. Have y'all looked up at the sky lately? For real though, have you looked up at the sky and noticed that? Let's put a picture up right now. Have you seen these lines? Sometimes they look like perfect boxes. Sometimes they look like an X. Have you ever wondered to yourself,
What the F is that?
what is that?
Not just the lines, but what the lines become. Have you actually sat out there and watched them? Don't get me wrong. Some of them, they disappear. It's whatever. Comes from the planes, whatever. Some of them linger. And the ones that linger, have you seen what they become? Now, they got us distracted with life, traffic, work, kids, programs, activities, the whole nine, right? But this summer, when the weather gets nice out here, take some time and just lay back. Watch the sky for a little bit and see what happens. And then ask yourself, what the hell is that? Honestly, because I'm going to try my best not to get emotional on this episode. Emotional meaning angry.
Yeah.
But I am
Tired.
I say that a lot. I said that a lot this season, but I am tired. I am simply tired. That should be my slogan at this point. I'm tired, okay? I'm tired of everything, especially these damn clouds, okay? You know what? Let's just start with something. Let's start with the definition of geoengineering. How about we start there? All right? Okay. Have y'all heard of geoengineering? It's a term that's being used a little bit more often now by certain politicians and people that are higher up. But geoengineering or climate engineering, y'all all know what an engineer does, right? I just want to make sure. And if you don't, Google it right now so you know what engineering means. But climate engineering refers to the intentional, large-scale manipulation of Earth's climate system to counteract climate change. Proposed technologies aim to reduce global temperatures or atmospheric greenhouse gases through two main approaches: solar radiation management or carbon dioxide removal. So the key categories and examples include solar engineering, which is stratospheric aerosol injection, marine cloud brightening, carbon dioxide removal, which is direct air capture or ocean fertilization. Now, I just want to touch on the top part real quick. So, stratospheric aerosol injection. Now, when you hear these terms, like, honestly, if you're not interested, you're going to be like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah,
Whatever.
some scientific
right?
phrase or
The
something.
average person are looking at these terms or hearing these terms, and they're not looking further, right? But that's what we're here for, to make you look further. So let's define what that is, stratospheric aerosol injection, okay? It's a theoretical solar geoengineering proposal that involves spraying reflective particles into the Earth's stratosphere to cool the planet. Let's look up.
Wait, can I quickly summarize?
Okay, I don't want to lose nobody here. I want to get all this information right in the beginning of the episode.
Translation, they're spraying the skies.
Simple
translation.
Basically. Method. I was going to get to that. So that's why I was like, method, spraying reflective particles like calcium carbonate, sulfur dioxide, or finely powdered salt into the stratosphere. Proposals include using aircraft, artillery guns, or large hoses. The goal? Cool the planet by reflecting sunlight back into space. All right, now we're going to look up sulfur dioxide because that was one of the things they're spraying, right? So, sulfur dioxide is a toxic air pollutant that primarily affects the respiratory system, causing immediate throat-lung irritation, wheezing, chest tightness, and breathing difficulties. Calcium carbonate in the air primarily poses health risks as a dust irritant when inhaled or upon contact with eyes and skin. It causes respiratory irritation, coughing, and potential discomfort to the nose and throat. Now, I'm just giving y'all like the top things that they're saying. There's more in there. Look up yourself. All right. So we looked up the 2 chemicals that are used for geoengineering, right? Mm-hmm. And they both have effects on the respiratory system. Now, I'm just going to ask one question because I'm not going to say too much, but what kind of viruses have we been dealing with the past 7 years? Mm-hmm. Just want to point that out. Now, sunlight, the sun that God created to give us daylight during the day and then some. Back in the days, decades and decades ago, even hospitals used to use sunlight as a form of healing. They would have their patients sit on the rooftops of hospitals in order to help with the healing process. Sunlight is essential for human health because it triggers the body to produce vitamin D, which is crucial for bone health and immune system regulation.
Now, the 2 questions I always hear about this, the people who are pushing back, is they don't have the power to affect the weather. Only God can. And 2, why would they do this? Now, we could address the first one. They don't have the power. I just want to read. I brought a couple things to read too. A few things to help people understand who we're dealing with here, right? All of these are proposals from the military. God bless America. Just putting that in for the transcript.
I wore my stars.
Banner over here.
I wore my stars and made sure I had a blue on.
I support the U.S. military.
Yes, we do.
We do. In 1994, this was a proposal by the U.S. Air Force. The official document name, if you want to look it up, is Harassing, Annoying, and Bad Guy Identifying Chemicals.
What the hell?
The informal name is Gay Bomb.
Oh, I've heard of this.
The proposal here is they would spray a chemical that would use strong aphrodisiacs to make any enemy soldiers sexually attracted to each other. So you're not gay right now, but they would spray you with something, and all of a sudden,
you gay.
You gay. This was an actual proposal. They didn't do anything with it. It was just a proposal.
It's always a proposal.
They didn't do anything with it.
I mean, in the geoengineering, it said proposal as well. It's always proposals.
There's another one in 1994. It was a big year for them, 1994. Insect attractant bomb. Release a chemical that would attract aggressive insects, wasps, and bees, etc. The goal here was to force enemy troops out of position or cause chaos. Severe halitosis. Cause extreme lasting bad breath or body odor. Flatulence, stink bomb. Induce flatulence or unbearable odor. Lastly, sunlight sensitivity chemical. Makes skin extremely sensitive to sunlight. That would force troops to avoid exposure and reduce mobility. So this is all just proposal, but if y'all can just pick up what we just put down, you read it between the lines.
For real.
This is things that they're already capable of doing.
Since 1994. Probably earlier.
And even before then, because actually unredacted documents just came out like last week showing that during the Vietnam War, President Lyndon B. Johnson was approached with a proposal to spray things in the sky to make the monsoon season in Vietnam last longer in order to trigger some mudslides or something. So again, this is stuff that they're admitting that they can do.
That they have done.
That they have done, yes. That they have done or can do. So now the second question is, why would they want to do it?
There are many answers. There are many answers. Many answers that we can't really put in this episode, if we're completely honest. But go ahead, actually. Go ahead.
My 2 cents, and I think most of our audience here is Christians or believing. You serve a good God. We're told about the devil and all that stuff, you know. Devil maybe made so-and-so give you problems at work and all that stuff. My conclusion is, if you believe in a good God, then there's always going to be a
The
counterparty
opposite. Yes.
trying to harm you.
Mm-hmm.
And we were forced to believe, or we were led to believe, that the enemy's job is to make you late for work, make people get on your nerves, just random little personal things. That's what the devil's doing. The devil's trying to test you. You missed the bus. You woke up on time. My opinion is, when you're forced to face truths like these, you realize that you're facing something that's far beyond you. And I think, like it said, in Corinthians, I believe it says by Paul, that we're not wrestling with flesh and blood, but we're wrestling with spiritual wickedness in heavenly places. So when you really put that into perspective, they're spraying you so that you don't reach your full potential. You don't reach your.
In other words, you get stuck in the matrix.
You get stuck in the matrix. You don't reach your full
this
potential.
Rat race of a life that they've made us believe is normal to have, is normal to live. No, it's.
Why would you?
I
would
mean,
you answer that question?
Aside from that, I do believe that there's good and there's evil. That's just point blank, period. The older I get, the more I'm realizing that no matter what face, no matter what term, no matter what label, what box, it's good versus evil, in my opinion. To business, because coming from healthcare, I fully understand why sick people are needed, just like poor people are needed. It makes the rich richer. And so when you're telling me that, the climate is too warm, so we have to cool it down, but the risks of cooling it down is making humanity sick in every way, in every shape of that word, we then become reliant on medication. For example, supplements, right? We've come to a point where almost everyone is on some form of supplement. And it's not to knock it, but it's like, I truly believe that God provided us with everything that we need here on earth. We didn't need anything extra. The reason why we need extra things now is because we're being robbed of the riches of the world. So when I think from a business perspective, I know that healthcare is a business. And so if I keep you on medication, if I keep you on supplements, you have to keep on buying these things regularly. I'm making money off of you. It's kind of like how I mentioned in a previous episode, I think. They're selling you the drug and the treatment. Okay?
Keeping you in a loop.
Yes.
Isn't that basically what the Matrix is? Like, you just go through
in a loop, basically. So if I
maze.
make you sick, I can sell you drugs. I make profit, right? So I think of it from that aspect too, where I'm like, if you can keep people sick, you can keep them purchasing things. You can keep them in the loop. And if their health is not in order, their mind will not be in order either. So there's a form of control that comes with that when you have people who can't think properly because their health affects the way that they think. So you then have an easier form of control.
It reminds me of 2020 when people were forced to stay home, and certain places and certain countries were telling people, don't look at the sun. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Don't look at the sun. I think it's because they know that unless they could sedate us in some way, shape, or form, either distract us or sedate us, there are things that we're not going to allow them to do. So you cannot control a population that's smarter than you.
Right.
That's not going to be put up. That's not going to put up with certain things.
So let's dumb you down.
So they start spraying people, and I'm playing devil's advocate. When I read everything that was included in these sprays, I found that their argument is, yeah, we use that, but those are natural compounds or chemicals that has little to no effect on the body.
Sure.
But once again here,
and I'm sure they'll say something to the extent, I mean, this is not proof, this is just me thinking. They'll probably say something like, because they're spraying it so high up, by the time it doesn't get to us here, right? They'll probably say nonsense like that. But let's be honest. Let's look at life, okay? Let's look at everything that's been coming out the past couple years, if not even before then. Everything is targeting our respiratory system. So what are the odds that the more they're utilizing these form of technologies, there's also more things coming out that is hindering our respiratory system? At some point, you just have to critically think and realize the cause and the effect. Now, I'm no scientist. I'm not God. I'm not saying that this is what it is, but I just Googled what I read. I literally Googled it and found those answers. Now, if you have the ability to critically think, you don't need anyone to tell you anything. I don't know. Like, you really don't need anyone to tell you anything. It's there for you to see. It's in our faces, you know? So
my curiosity, or my thing too, is how have people not noticed that?
people notice.
No, I think some people really don't notice.
Some people.
Because it happens pretty quickly. You'll see a streak or several streaks go through the sky. That line either disappears or spreads. Maybe it could take a few hours, maybe a day. You'll notice heavy rain, heavy snowfall. Like the snowfall we had this past
Or
couple
just
months.
cloudiness sometimes.
Yeah.
But they say it. It's to block the sun, y'all. So what are you creating to block the sun? Clouds, right?
What did we say,
So-
right? When we looked at the different lines in the skies right before we had all those snow, we're like, we know it's about to really rain or snow or something. Then you find out days later, like, we're about to have the heaviest snow or something. So unfortunately, I think what some people look for sometimes is they want to book a website, a news article that says, yes, we are spraying you. These are the potential side effects. We're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to put the pieces
together.
together.
Y'all have ever done puzzles? Life is the reason for puzzles for me. I am glad I did puzzles because, Lord, do we have to keep putting the pieces together, and the picture just keeps getting uglier and uglier.
And it could be a dreading feeling because I guarantee you guys, if you look up, you're going to see it.
Yeah.
It could be a feeling like, all right, what now? Yeah, they're spraying the sky. What I'm going to do? Throw a rock up there, say stop it. But I think if more people are aware of what's going on, I think more people will stand up against it and force people to start talking about it. Because even now, one of the craziest conspiracies, if you believe in that, that's like, if you said you believe in that a few years ago, they'll look at you like,
you crazy. Oh, you're one of those conspiracy theorists, aren't you?
At all. But now it's been so mainstream now that people are starting to talk about it, and politicians are starting to say, yeah, it's been done. Yeah, we're doing investigations on it.
Even the, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if it was last year, that heavy rainfall in Dubai. They're just using different terms, guys, but it's all the same bull crap, okay? Cloud seeding is the same thing. It manipulates the weather. Everything that I read said that it's to fight global warming, right? So if you're fighting global warming, what are you doing? You're cooling the planet. To cool the planet, what are you doing? You're creating seeds of clouds, right? You create seeds of clouds. What does it do? More rain, less sun. That's basically what's happening. But unfortunately, what's being used to create these clouds, and to be honest, we don't know what else they're putting in there. This is just what they're telling us. They usually don't tell us until years down the line. So who knows if they're putting other stuff that we're not aware of. There was actually an event that occurred years ago. I think it might have been... No, I think it might have been before our time. I don't remember the exact timing, but I'll find something about it and maybe post it with this episode, where they tested out spraying over San Francisco Bridge.
Oh, yes, I did.
You've heard about that?
Yeah.
It's admitted. It's out there for you to read. You can Google right now and you will find it. But they sprayed an area in San Francisco with a specific bacteria just for testing purposes. It ended up spreading further than they anticipated.
Wow, big surprise.
I know, oh my God. How could that happen? It spreaded further than anticipated. And so the hospitals in all of San Francisco, at least I think it was all of San Francisco, started seeing so many cases of this particular bacteria, like patients coming in with it. And they were like, this is not a common bacteria. It's a rare thing. Why is this happening? Years down the line, they admitted, yeah, we were running testing and we did it in this specific area and it impacted the whole city. Like, so, and that was so long ago. And y'all see how quick technology advances. It doesn't take time. Y'all see how we were just using AI and ChatGPT, and now there's Claude, now there's all these different things. You see how fast technology is advancing. So just imagine how much can be done in 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades. So you can't sit here and be like, no, they haven't said it, so it's not true. There's been constant proof over and over and over and over again that shows that they're either backtracking by saying, oh, we weren't doing that. I mean, we're not doing that. And then a decade later, oh, we actually were. But there's been so many instances of that happening that now we have to realize that what do I always tell them? Don't trust no one and nothing. Don't trust your eyes. Don't trust your ears. Don't trust nothing but your discernment. Honestly, don't trust no one and nothing because it'll make you feel crazy. It'll really make you feel crazy. There's so many things that like we talk about years ago and now we're watching it unfold and we're just like, I can't believe this.
Yeah, everything.
So trust your discernment because a lot of these things, they're not going to say it out in the open right away. It often comes out years later.
Oh, by the way, we were spraying and on spraying too, because when you think about it, there's nothing that's artificial that could ever compare to natural.
Right. There's always an effect to some extent.
There's always an effect to some extent. So if they're creating clouds out of artificial instruments, those clouds are creating artificial rain. That artificial rain is falling on the ground.
Our soil
impacting
is tainted.
Our soil. There's so much heavy metal in the soil now, so much heavy metal in drinking water and just everywhere. So it's not just a matter of, oh, yeah, I see them spraying the sky. They're trying to block the sun. This is an issue that's impacting absolutely everything.
Our food, our soil, our water, everything. Us.
I saw parents warning their kids about eating snow because,
because it's
back
not,
then the
it's
kids
not
would
snow.
do it like taste the snow or something. Now parents are like, don't touch that snow.
It's not the real snow, bro.
No.
It's wild.
And it's easy to get discouraged, but I think, again, awareness is key here. The more people who are talking about it, the more it's going to force the leaders in charge to face the fact that, all right, they know we're doing this now. Let's address it.
Yeah. And honestly, the more you know, the more you grow. I know you're talking about on a general scale, but a part of me is just like, I don't even think that would necessarily change anything if we're completely honest. But for me, it's more so the internal growth and just being knowledgeable and aware of what your surroundings are, because living in ignorance, I think, stunts you in so many ways. So when you're aware of little things like this, it forces you to move different. And in forcing you to move different, I mean, it forces you to seek more knowledge and seek more information on how to live a more fruitful and better life for yourself. So for us, what it did was it forced me to think about like food and water and what I'm giving to my children. And as much as like, yeah, the grand scale is not changing, but our personal lives are changing for the better. And if it does just that, it does just that. But I think awareness is important, but more so the knowledge and the growth that comes with it.
Yeah.
And we're out.
Look up.
Thank you for spending your time with us. We hope you gained some knowledge today that'll promote poise in your life. We have new episodes uploaded every Thursday right here, same place, same time. Until next time, you can follow us on Instagram at Noirpoise Podcast to stay connected. That's NOIRPOISED Podcast. We'd love to hear your feedback.
And remember, your wisdom is power.